Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds Gamer. I tell you, it is exhausting being a Leeds United fan, but I would not change it for the world. Leeds have grabbed a late equaliser against Bournemouth to come away with a 2-2 draw. And on reflection, probably a fair result. We're going to get into the statistics in a moment. Just before we get into all the details of the match, all the good regular stuff, if you can please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do please like and hype the video, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. So, an extremely oh god, how would I describe this? It was a match where both teams were giving it a decent go. Leeds had to do a lot of defensive work, and tonight was about them showing the fight and the determination and the battling spirit to be able to come away with something. And ultimately we've gotten a little bit of revenge because they got a 90 plus minute equaliser in the reverse fixture, and Leeds have done the same against them now on their patch. So, you know, on the balance of play over two matches, you know, you could argue that it's probably, you know, getting both teams getting 2 draws out of it is probably a fair outcome. So we'll start with the Premier League table, which, as you can see there, shows Leeds United still in 15th, but they have hit the magic 40 points. To do that with 4 games remaining, I'm proud. I am really proud of everyone involved at Leeds United. It heaps pressure on those below them now. It really does, and to be honest, I mean, Leeds ain't going down on that, not a chance. I think Forest will be alright. I think if they get another win and another draw out of their 5 remaining games, you know, they'll stay up. And then it's just a question of who gets more points between West Ham and Tottenham. Bearing in mind, Leeds could have a big say in this. Leeds still have to play both West Ham and Tottenham. Leeds could have a big say in this. Just as a small other detail as well, Burnley have now been confirmed as relegated after they narrowly lost to Manchester City, just 1-0 at Turf Moor earlier on this evening. And Leeds still have Burnley to play as well. So, you know, there's, out of the 4 fixtures, the only one now that's going to be an awkward one is Brighton, because Brighton are on good form, as you can see at the top of your screen there. But they're a bit of a bogey side for Leeds anyway, and I think that Brighton will play a bit similar to Bournemouth. They'll be, you know, they'll play a decent brand of football, and Leeds notoriously struggle against Brighton. Now, ironically, Brighton are on 50 points, and there is still a very small possibility that Leeds could finish the season on 50 points. It's a massive ask, but with the 4 games remaining, you know, 3 of them are against 3 teams below us. If we get 3 wins against all 3 of those and get a draw against Brighton, there's your 10 points, and that's 50. Now, I don't think 50 will put us much further up the table, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's an ambitious target, but I think the Leeds can play with a bit of freedom now. Look at our form: three draws and 2 wins in the last 5 games. That's not to be sniffed at. Ironically, it's the same kind of form as Nottingham Forest, and there's a bit of an ironic run of form near the top of the screen there, isn't there? I mean, Bournemouth's on the same form as Leeds there, 3 draws, 2 wins. But look at just below them, Chelsea have lost their last 5 games, and Brentford have drawn their last 5. That's crazy form. Absolutely bonkers. The way Leeds are playing, we don't look like we're going to lose a match. We really don't. These last 5 games have been really good. If we just go through them quickly. We shut out Crystal Palace. We shut out Brentford. We beat Manure. We beat Wolves. And we've drawn with Bournemouth. I mean, conceding 2 goals there, that's the first time we've conceded 2 goals in ages in a match. I can't remember the last match that we actually conceded 2 goals. So, let's have a little look at it. And we'll go into the match stats now as well. That was a cup game, so that don't count. But in terms of the league, let's just have a look. I'm just curious on this. When was the last time that Leeds conceded 2 goals in a league match? Even the losses that we have had a little while back, they were only 1-0 each. I genuinely cannot remember. Oh, look at that. It was the draw back on the 10th of February. Wow. Done that seem a while ago now. That's why I couldn't remember the last time that we conceded 2 goals in a match. And it wasn't even a loss. Ironically. So, yeah, that's crazy. Oh well, let's get into the match stats for Leeds versus Bournemouth at the Vitality. So, as you can see there, in terms of when the goals went in, Croupion 60, Leeds equalised with an own goal from Hill. And then late on, 85 minutes, Ryan put Bournemouth 2-1 up. And Sean Longstaff, who repeated the feat that he did in the first match against Bournemouth, scoring in the top right corner. I felt really good when that equaliser went in. I felt a little bit deflated going 2-1 down because I didn't think we deserved to lose the match. Some of the defensive work from Leeds was really good tonight. Even though we conceded 2 goals. Pascal Strauch, take a bow, man. He was excellent tonight for me. Carl Darlow with another couple of really crucial saves. But let's have a look at it. So stats, here we go. So Bournemouth beat us on possession 60-40. Had more unexpected goals. I don't know about that one, but anyway. They were the more attacking team overall over the 90, so it don't surprise me that in the key stats that they've actually basically beaten us on everything. That doesn't surprise me a massive amount. We'll get onto the shots then. Leeds hit the woodwork twice. If Leeds don't come away with at least a draw after hitting the woodwork twice, one of them was Noah Okafor, who was very unlucky. Really good work from Noah on that one. Hitting the post and then it bounced out rather than in. And then Lucas Mecha. Mecha looked very good when he came on. Very attacking, trying to get shots away. Very, very unlucky not to score. Look at the XG. Again, they kind of beat us on that one, but it was a bit of a strange game in a weird way. As you can imagine, Leeds dominating most of the defensive numbers there, which Again, on the balance of play, I still think it's a fair result overall. Maybe I'm a little biased being the Leeds fan, but I don't know. Because in the reverse fixture, I thought Leeds were the better team. So, you know, a bit of give and take on that one, really. I mean, again, they've won most of the passing stats as well. Senesi was a nuisance. He kept bringing the ball forward from centre back for Bournemouth, and if I was to give a Bournemouth player the man of the match, it'd go to him. He was a pest. We couldn't deal with him. We just couldn't get the ball off him when he was running forward. Oh, look at that! Senesi's actually got the FOTMOB man of the match. I mean, it's algorithm based, but he was a nuisance. How the hell Tyler Adams has got third best player? I don't know what's going on there. Gabby, again, good match from him. I thought Brendan played quite well, actually. I did think Brendan played quite well tonight. Pascal, those four, Gabby, Brendan, Pascal, and Ethan, possibly our best players tonight. It wasn't a night of for the purists in a sense, really. It was a bit of a difficult one. DCL being that low down, yeah, probably fair. And then these were the subs that didn't come on long enough for a rating. In fairness, Leeds kept Evan Nilsson pretty quiet. Hill probably gets that for the own goal. Bogle went off with an injury at half time. I don't take a lot of notice of the FOTMOD ratings, quite frankly, but it is what it is. Leeds playing a clean game, no bookings at all for Leeds. 3 went to Bournemouth. Duels, Leeds winning most of the duel work. And tying on the successful dribbles. Interesting. But yeah, no, it was good. So we'll just finish up with the lineups here. So Leeds started with the same lineup that started in the last match. So it was Caldalo in goal. Back three of James Justin, Jacoby Hall and Pascal Strout. Jaden Bogle and Gabby Goodmanson at wing back. Ethan Ampadu and now Tanaka in midfield with Brendan Aronson, Noah Okafor supporting DCL up front. For Bournemouth, they started with Petrovic in goal, a back four of Jimenez and Truffert at full back. They were both quite useful as well for them. Senesi and Hill at centre back. Midfield of Christian Scott with Brooks, Krupi and Tavernier supporting Evan Nilsson up front. Yeah, I think they're best players. I mean, like Jimenez was a bit of a pest on their right hand side. Krupi was a bit of a nuisance. He got himself a goal. And as I say, Senesi was just bringing the ball out of defence, and Leeds needed to charge Senesi down more, in my opinion. If there was one thing Leeds got wrong tonight, we didn't do enough against Senesi, and that was annoying. But that's about my only real criticism, and just maybe the fact that we didn't really get that many chances to test Petrovic in the Bournemouth goal. That did change in the second half, and it changed because of the substitutions. Rodon came on at half time for Bogle, and Justin went to right wing back, with Rodon taking that right sided centre back role. So that won't have done Joe any harm at all. He's come back from injury, just giving him he got about 5 minutes in the last game. He's had, maybe 10, whatever it were. He's had 45 in this one, so that'll be helpful to Joe in terms of getting that match sharpness back after being injured. I thought Lucas Mecha was very, very good when he came on, trying to make something happen. He's had 3 or 4 attempts on goal in the match, hitting the woodwork with one of them. Very unlucky. But considering again the lack of minutes that Lucas Mecha, gets, I really don't think he did bad at all. I really don't. Wilfred Nonto again very lively, helped Leeds to get one of the goals back, which led to the own goal from Hill. So that was very positive. Sean Longstaff, fantastic goal when he came on. Really pleased for him, because again Sean's another player that don't get a lot of minutes. And then Joel Pirro came on very late on. From a Bournemouth perspective, oh my god. So Ryan came on and got a goal. Tyler Adams, pantomime villain. The fans were having some right banter between each other, because obviously Bournemouth love Adams and Leeds hate him. So the fans were having some right to and fro with that, but Tyler Adams got an absolute earful from the Leeds fans. And, he deserved it. The way that he left Leeds was unacceptable. But Leeds got some decent money for him, and at the time that he's been at Bournemouth, he's been injured a lot. So, that's fine. Adley came on when Adams did as well, and then the youngster Toth came on in injury time as well. The subs that did not come on, goalkeeper Lucas Perry, Seb Bornow, Buonanotte and Dan James. From a Bournemouth perspective, the subkeeper Mandus didn't come on. Former Leeds loanee Adam Smith did not come on, Diakite didn't come on, Doak didn't come on, and Onel did not come on either. So, I'll just put the table back on, and from a Leeds perspective, I mean today I thought Aronson looked good. Took Okafor a bit of time to get into it, but as I say, he ended up hitting the post. Very unlucky on his attempt there. Gabby, again, I have to give kudos to the defence today, even though we conceded 2 goals, which I know this sounds so weird, but despite conceding 2 goals, the defence needs an overall shout out. And Pascal Strout, I would say he were a beast tonight. Really good performance from Pascal. Really pleased for him. He sometimes, his performances sometimes go under the radar. There's a reason why he's the club vice captain, because he's an absolute rock at the back, and he's had a very good season. The only thing missing from Pascal this season's a goal. At championship level, he was able to score them quite frequently. He deserves to score a goal this season if he gets an opportunity. But yeah, as I say, the defence did really well. I mean, for so long we were keeping out a lot of pressure. Darlow didn't have a lot of saves that he needed to make, but that was partially because the defence just kept getting in the way and playing it. I mean, you saw the defensive stats earlier. So yeah, a shout out to the Leeds defence. But just in terms of how the team defended, DCL. Let me give this as a shout out. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know what he can do going forward, but defensively, I'll tell you something. He puts in a shift. He puts in a shift when defending set pieces. DCL's there. And again, he was very, very useful for a lot of the defensive work that Leeds had to do tonight. So I've just got to give a shout out for that. It's not all about scoring goals with DCL. Obviously, that's his primary objective. But then when Leeds are defending, DCL's crucial. He gets on so much of that work. You know, if it ain't the three centre backs, you know, half at time it's DCL, and it's because of that leap as much as anything. You know, he's able to get involved with that, but you know, he gets on the line. You know, he blocks shots. He's a unit. He's an absolute unit, and I mean, you can tell with his build anyway. He's very physically fit, but I mean, he's got the defensive nous as DCL, so he deserves a shout out for that. So just to finish, really, so I'm going to have a little look at this after each match, because I keep talking about the players who have got over 2,000 minutes this season for Leeds, the players over 1,000, and then the players who haven't yet reached 1,000, because this could be detrimental as to how much chance they've got of staying on at the club next season. Some vital minutes for a couple of the players just off that 1,000 mark. So just to recap, the ones with 2,000, you're looking at Ethan Ampadu, Pascal Strout, Gabby Gommenson, Jaden Bogle, Joe Roden, DCL, Aronson and Stack. They are all over 2,000 minutes this season so far. After that, you've got Carl Darlow, Jakob Yall, James Justin, Noah Okafor, Lucas Perry, Ilya Gruev, and now, after tonight, Ao Tanaka. So this is quite pleasing, because at one point it didn't look as if Tanaka was going to get enough minutes to, you know, to satisfy his desire to stay at the club. But Ao Tanaka is now on 1,018 minutes of Premier League football with 10 starts and 14 sub appearances. 2 goals to his name as well, but again, his role is not about always scoring goals. You know, he's a key cog in that midfield when we haven't got Stack. You know, Ao Tanaka does a very good job both defensively and offensively. Sean Longstaff's added a few minutes to his tally tonight, so Sean Longstaff now is the closest player to 1,000 that hasn't reached 1,000 minutes yet. He's on 957 minutes. So again, if Sean keeps plugging away and keeps getting these sub-apps, there's every chance that he will get the 43 minutes required over the next 4 games to get over 1,000. It's 10 starts and 10 sub-apps for Longstaff this season. Lucas Metcher, he's just gotten himself over 900 minutes with a decent length appearance tonight. So he's on 903 now. So he just needs 97 minutes over the next 4 league games to get over that crucial 1,000 minutes mark. So Lucas is on 9 starts and 18 sub appearances now. So Lucas has a chance. It's going to be close, but he's certainly got a chance. As I say, he got a nice length run out today. I mean, it was almost forced on the fact that Bournemouth took the lead, and so Daniel Farke went for a more attacking formation at that point, and this allowed Lucas Metcher to get a good solid run out. So the ones that are still struggling for time at the moment, Wilfred Gnonto, I mean, you can't grumble with what he did tonight. You know, he comes on and he forces the own goal that gets Leeds back in the match. So you can't grumble with it, but Gnonto's still only on 447 minutes this season with 4 starts, 15 sub appearances. Dan James was on the bench. He's obviously been coming back from a host of injuries this season. He's still back on 410 minutes. Seb Bornow didn't come on, he's back on 308. Joel Perrault did come on very late on. He's well back on 218 minutes. Buonanotte was on the bench but didn't come on. Sam Byram did not make the squad for tonight. So there we have it, folks. I'll leave you with the league table. because it is significant, because Leeds have confirmed, well, not mathematically, but I cannot see a world where you know, Tottenham, West Ham and Nottingham get ahead of Leeds. Not all of them. I just cannot see all three of them getting ahead of Leeds now. I just can't. You know, it's 40 points. It's teams hardly ever go down on 40 points. It's a fantastic outcome for Leeds. 34 games played, 9 wins. You know, we've got a really good chance of getting double-figure wins here. You know, with the opposition we've still got to play. 13 draws now. So we are quite draw heavy, but I mean, again, they all count. And it's only 12 losses in comparison. And again, when you look at some of the teams in and around where Leeds are, you know, to only lose 12 is not, it's not a mega disaster by any stretch of the imagination. We've scored 44 goals now. We've conceded 51, but we are in single figures with the minus goal difference now. I'd love it. I think the key target for Leeds now is to see if they can finish on neutral zero or a plus goal difference figure for the season. That'd really top it off. That'd top it off for Leeds this season. If we can keep plugging away, we've got 4 games to eliminate a negative 7 difference there. That's the task. Can we score 7 goals without reply over the next 4 games? That's the challenge. Could happen. Possible. Can we get a few against Burnley? I mean, Man City only managed 1 against Burnley tonight, which is a little odd. I would have expected a bit of a thumping. But maybe Burnley are just playing with that. I mean, the one downside for Leeds in a sense is that they're going to be playing against Leeds. Burnley are going to be playing against Leeds. You know, after the FA Cup match with a load of freedom. Be interesting to see if Burnley decides to keep Parker now. You know, on the basis that they've been confirmed as relegated. I mean, this isn't all down to Parker. The quality of the Burnley squad is so poor. It's really bad. It's not Premier League level, put it that way. So you know, that'll be interesting. He'll get rest at the season. I don't see any reason why Burnley would get rid of him. You know, he's been there the entire season. He's seen how far off it they've been. So yeah, we'll have to see on that one. Really doesn't matter to me, quite frankly. I'm just bothered about Leeds United. But the table looks healthy as far as Leeds are concerned. 40 points on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're staying up. I don't see us going down now. So it's not mathematically confirmed, but what is mathematically confirmed is that Burnley are now relegated. I think, anyway. That's what I've heard. 11 points off. I don't know. That's like, I don't actually think that's mathematically off, is it? They've got 4 games that are given 12 points if they win them all. So that would give them 32. It requires... Oh no, it is. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at Tottenham Hotspur. No, West Ham being on 33. They're 13 points ahead. Yep, so Burnley are officially mathematically down. Right. No, makes sense. Well, there we go. So it is just down to that one final relegation place now, folks. It's down to that. So I'll leave it there, folks. Big thank you for watching. Do please do all that good stuff that I mentioned. A bit of a long review tonight, but it was worth it. So yeah, do all the good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Please like and out the video and hit that notification bell. But in the meantime, have a good one, folks. See you next time. Bye for now.